I'm continuing my reading, and what I'm doing in this section is the series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around just a little bit as I move along. Right now, I am still in the Book of Deuteronomy. We just started it. This will be chapter 5. That's what I thought. Okay, so chapter 5. Moses tells of covenant God made with Israel in Horeb. 10 Commandments reviewed. Sabbath observance commemorates also the deliverance from Egypt. God talks with man. Blessings flow from obedience. Okay, it's a little bit long, but I think we can get it in one video. And Moses called all Israel and said unto them, Hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that ye may learn them, and keep and do them. The Lord our God made a covenant with us in Horeb. The Lord made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even us who are all of us here alive this day. The Lord talked with you face to face in the mount out of the midst of the fire. I stood between the Lord and you at that time, to shew you the word of the Lord. For ye were afraid by reason of the fire, and went not up into the mount, saying... Okay, we're going to pause there. It's an interesting pausing point, but that is our paragraph. So again, he is talking about the events at the what most people consider Mount Sinai, but this is in Horeb. I'm not sure if this is a slight discrepancy between Exodus and Deuteronomy. Maybe Horeb's a larger area and Sinai is within it, or maybe it's the other way around. I do remember Horeb being mentioned, but anyways, it is very important to note that this was a new covenant made with the current Israel. God made a covenant with the people who came out of Egypt. This was not God just saying, oh, well, I made a covenant with Abraham, so we're going to fulfill it. No, he makes a new covenant. Every time there is a new people, a new dispensation, that is when God makes a new covenant. Now, to a large extent, the covenant is the same as the covenants that he made with previous dispensations, but there are always some unique points to it. In this covenant, we'll see, we're going to review the covenant, but Abraham was covenanted that he would be the father of nations, and that through his lineage, the priesthood, the blessings of the priesthood, and the atonement of Christ would be brought to all people. That was his covenant. That covenant was renewed with Isaac and with Jacob. It was the same covenant. They weren't given a new covenant. It was just renewed with them. This is Israel's covenant. This is the new covenant given to Israel. Verse 6. I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in earth beneath, or that is in the waters beneath the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and shewing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Keep the Sabbath day to sanctify it, as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee. 6 days thou shalt labor, and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thine ox, nor thine ass, nor any of thy cattle, nor any stranger that is within thy gates, that thy manservant and thy maidservant may rest as well as thou. And remember that thou wast a servant in the land of Egypt, and that the Lord thy God brought thee out thence through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore the Lord thy God commanded thee to keep the Sabbath day. So let's pause a moment here, because this is an important thing here. The whole Sabbath day thing. Everything rests. And this isn't talking about, no reading scriptures, this isn't talking about reading or that kind of mental work. You probably shouldn't be doing your homework at your schoolwork on the Sabbath day, but maybe reading a textbook isn't so bad. This is talking about servile work, manual labor more than anything else. But the Sabbath isn't just a time to rest, it is a time to commune with God, to be out doing the Lord's work instead of your own work. But note that everybody is to rest on the Sabbath, not just the Israelites, and not just the free people. You can't work, your children can't work, your servants or slaves, because that's what they were, can't work, your animals can't work. And the most important one there where it says, thy stranger that was within thy gates. Remember that a stranger is somebody who is not of Israel. They are living among Israel, but they are not of Israel. They are a foreigner. And this is saying that anybody, even if they come in to the country, they are not allowed to work either. Everybody, again, the law applies equally to everybody. Remember, again, it's a point that God makes frequently throughout the law of Moses. The law has to apply equally to everybody, no matter who they are. But let us continue. Verse 16. Honor thy father and thy mother, as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee, that thy days may be prolonged, and that it may go well with thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Neither shalt thou bear false witness against thy neighbor. Neither shalt thou desire thy neighbor's wife. Neither shalt thou covet thy neighbor's house, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his ass, or anything that is thy neighbor's. Now remember, this is talking about envy, coveting. That is, I want that specific thing. He's got something, I want it, I'm going to take it from him. It's not saying, I wanted to be married. When I was younger, I looked forward to being married. It's not that I wanted another man's wife, it's that I wanted my own wife, and I went and found my own wife. It's not that I wanted my neighbor's house, it's what I wanted my own house. And so I did the work necessary. That is good. Trying to take or wanting what is your neighbor's to the point of that you will want to take it from him. That is envious. That is envy. That is covetousness. That is what God is saying. It's not that we shouldn't want to improve ourselves, that we don't want to, acquire more things. It's that we need to do it in the right way. Anyways, verse 22. These words the Lord spake unto all your assembly in the mount out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness, with a great voice, and he added no more, and he wrote them in 2 tables of stone, and delivered them unto me. And it came to pass, when ye heard the voice out of the midst of the darkness, for the mountain did burn with fire, that ye came near unto me, even all the heads of your tribes and your elders. And ye said, Behold, the Lord our God hath shewed us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. We have seen this day that God doth talk with man, and he liveth. Now therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us if we hear the voice of the Lord our God any more. Then we shall die. For who is there of all flesh that hath heard the voice of the living God speaking out of the midst of the fire, as we have, and lived? Go thou near, and hear all that the Lord our God shall say, and speak thou unto us all that the Lord our God shall speak unto thee, and we will hear it, and do it. And the Lord heard the voice of your words when ye spake unto me. And the Lord said unto me, I have heard the voice of the words of this people, which they have spoken unto thee. They have well said all that they have spoken. Oh, that there were such an heart in them, that they would fear me, and keep all my commandments always, that it might be well with them and with their children forever. Go say to them, Get you into your tents again. But as for thee, stand thou here by me, and I will speak unto thee all the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which thou shalt teach them, that they may do them in the land which I give them to possess it. Ye shall observe to do therefore as the Lord your God hath commanded you. Ye shall not turn aside to the right hand or to the left. Ye shall walk in all the ways with the Lord your God, which the Lord your God hath commanded you, that ye may live, and that it may be well with you, and that ye may prolong your days in the land which ye shall possess. Okay. This is, again, it's a review of what happened in the past, but we should remember this from Exodus. God said, bring the people close by. They had to purify themselves, wash themselves, all their clothes and everything, nice and clean, and then come to the mountain. And they heard God speaking. The mountain burned with fire, smoke, and darkness spilling out from it. The ground shook. They heard the voice of God, and they said, okay, that's enough. We have heard the voice of God. We know it's him. We know that God is speaking to you, Moses, and that's good enough for you. He can talk to you. If he talks to us, we're all dead. So, and it's just a review. We already know what happened. And so I don't think we need to get too much into it again. Maybe I will try and get a link to the Exodus video on this one. We will see. My technology's not great right now. My internet hasn't been great, so we will see. But anyways, I will see you in the next video.